A very good evening, Rahul, and thank you so much for being a part of Groundspeak series, a project that has been started by Confluence, and we are elated and also delighted to have you on board for us, where you will share your
Thank you.
answers.
Oh, thank you so much for thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to speak my heart today. So I'm really looking forward for a good conversation.
And it seems that you're already in the place where you work.
Yeah,
So to give it a proper start, and on that note, let's just talk about your own startup, which has created a lot of
okay,
not only in Guwahati but in almost the entire northeastern region, and that is One Stop Kitchen. So rather
yeah,
than I talking about One Stop Kitchen, if you can summarize for our viewers what is actually One
yeah,
Stop Kitchen and what is actually the cloud kitchen industry, I
okay,
better for them rather than me telling you about
yeah. So this the concept which we are working on is known by cloud kitchen. So in many places it is also known as a dark kitchen or a ghost kitchen. So it's very simple. We take up a place, we set up a small kitchen, we take online orders, and we then deliver it to our customers directly. So there is eliminating the dining facilities and cutting down a lot of cost. So that is the basic of how cloud kitchen work. So I started in 2017. Back then, it was a very new concept. So I was also not sure about how this is going to turn out, how this is going to work on over here. So I started off as a social media page. I created a Facebook page and I created a Instagram page.
it.
So talking about my background, I'm an MBA. I did my MBA from Bangalore in marketing. Then I was slightly inclined towards the wine industry. So Bangalore is famous for its breweries and the
Yes.
wines. So that's how I got exposed to this wine and food industry, and that's how I went inside this industry. I did a course in wine education. I was working over there, and that's how I started gaining knowledge about this wine and food pairing and the food industry as well. I came back in 2017, and I saw there was a huge gap in this segment, in this particular segment, where people don't have to get out of their house. They can directly get access to the food right at their doorstep with few taps itself. So that's how I started off the social media page. And before that, I didn't even know how to cook. So I started learning to cook by watching YouTube videos, and I started creating my own fusion food. So that's how I started off, and lucky I was lucky enough that people started loving my food, the food I created with my small kitchen over here, and we started getting traction. People started asking about how do I get it, how do I order it, where from should I order and all. And that's as we gradually started growing up, we saw a steep increase in the order flow as well, and it was becoming very tough for us to manage all the orders and streamline all the orders. And that's when I decided that okay, let's create an app, mobile application, where we get all the orders, and with the help of that itself, we can allow customers to view the entire menu since we didn't have any brick and mortar. So the app was our storefront. The app was our point of contact with the customers. So that's how we launched our first beta. That was particularly in Android, and then slowly we actually launched in iPhone as well, iOS as well, and then in 2018, the entry of these giants, Swiggy and Zomato, and the entire market just flipped out. Uh, One good thing about us listing on Swiggy was that we got a broader
Yes.
customer base, and we started growing tremendously. We started getting orders, 100 plus orders. We crossed 100 plus orders in the first month itself, and slowly the next month itself we started hitting 200 plus orders. Then it was completely like a something which I never thought of. and it just we just went with the flow. I never thought that we would become a private limited company one day, and then we got enrolled in the Assam Startup Nest, which is an incubation center where IIM Kolkata in collaboration with IIM Kolkata and Assam government. We enrolled there. We always actually wanted to start something to make this a startup rather than a mere social media page, but we didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
So that's how when we came across Startup Nest, and then fast forward, we got our first round of funding as well, and here we are today, sitting in this office where we launched our first super app. Now there's a very interesting story behind why we call ourselves a super app. So when One Stop Kitchen was running, we start we saw I saw there were a few other demands as well, which was rising side by side. Demand of biryani, where people can order biryani in bulk, and we saw a steep increase in the biryani as well. People were actually wanting to order biryani. We had biryani in our menu, and we saw a very biryani was actually one of our highest selling products back then when OSK was only there.
All right.
Then we thought about how about we make a complete new brand itself of the biryani we are serving. So that's how we started House of Biryani.
All right.
So and that was the start of Northeast India's first multi-brand cloud kitchen actually. So we are using the same kitchen to build two brands. One is a one-stop kitchen which is focused in fusion food, and the other one is biryani. Then I came up with a new concept where we bring in the healthy food concept by the name of Healthy Co. So it's a completely say tech generate with the help of technology. We are fetching all the customer details, account details like your age, gender, your body weight, height, and your body goals, your health goals. And we have dietitians on our board. So with the help of our dietitians, we study your lifestyle, we study your preferences, and we curate a meal plan for you to achieve your goals. And that meal plan we provide it to our customers on subscription model. So that's how Healthico was born, and then Corona happened, and we know how the entire market shifted from here to there. And the need of the hour was getting essentials right in their doorstep. Since we already had the platform, we already had the operation, so we thought how what we decided why not we even create something which is an online supermarket where customers can get anything and everything right in that particular app itself. And that's how we launched OST Plus. So these four brands are available in one single application itself, which is by the name of One Stop Kitchen. So as the name suggests, one stop kitchen. So in one place itself, you get everything, right from your food to your pet supplies to your essentials to your biryani, even to your health related queries or solutions as well.
Wonderful to know, and that somehow actually justifies the super app title that you have received, and because it's actually a lot of things at on one platform. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but then to talk about the other thing that we have come here to talk about. So this entire year of 2020, it was disastrous for all activities, especially for business activities, and especially more for startups because startups are more, what can I say, prone to such economic lockdowns or shutdowns, if I can use that word. And yours being part of an industry that is still, I guess, growing in the region, if not in the country, a cloud kitchen industry. So for right now, if I talk about the present in the post-lockdown phase, we have come into a new year. How do you see this new year treating the cloud kitchen industry, and is the industry on the path to recovery, or is it still suffering from the damages that the lockdown left on it or the pandemic left on it? What has been your evaluation as a person who's running a startup or multiple startups, if I can say?
See, there, we all know the impact that the pandemic has created worldwide, right? we, to be honest, I and my company and my startup, we were kind of on the luckier side, to be honest, because we got the funding. So when the lockdown was imposed, that was around March, April. By the April, we actually were bankrupted. We were completely. It was just a month post lockdown, and we were completely on our knees. And luckily, we got the funding, and that actually supported us a lot to survive this entire pandemic. To be honest, but then all the plans we had, the way we created our milestones, the way we were seeing the market, it was completely changed by this few months itself. A few months itself, we had to re-strategize and entire plans. We have to remodel our entire business model. Now, since the start of 2021, again, speculations are there all over that there might be another lockdown or people are still scared because the virus is still there. For our industry, like for in industry, which is hugely impacted, especially F&B is one of them. So this cloud kitchen model is actually, or we can say it's a blessing in disguise, to be honest, where we ourselves are taking every measure to make sure that there's a zero contact less delivery. So zero contact delivery basically, where the client doesn't even have to come in contact with anyone when they want to eat something or when they want to order something. So there are few factors which can actually help you to grow and any startup, to be honest, right now, because there is a loophole everywhere, be it in the hyperlocal market or be in the aggregator market or be in any of the businesses. I have a few friends of mine who are doing different uh, uh, work before pandemic, and they have shifted to a completely different model after pandemic. So few of my friends, they used to be in the automotive industry, and post pandemic they saw a huge opportunity where they can sanitize those vehicles and the bikes and motorbikes and cars and all. So they shifted towards that side and they started sanitizing cars and vehicles and everything. And now they are actually doing very good. So that's how our lives are, the lives of entrepreneurs are. As we start up, there is an opportunity. We just need to see the opportunity. We will have to evolve and we'll have to, uh, whenever required, we will have to break our skills and then re-strategize and we will have to come up. So, so that's how the market is. It's wide open. Yet it is very important for us to take calculated risk because that's what pandemic has taught me to be out, so that we can take each and every step calculatedly. Because we never know how the market is going to change, what is going to happen tomorrow. The new strain is there. We never know that there might be a new virus again. So we will have to be very cautious about every step we take, especially for a startup like us.
And that's very true what you say, because your startup, if I can talk about it particularly, also has competition from companies like Swiggy or Zomato, as you talked about. Although you have listed yourself on Swiggy, but then again, their base as a business which is already established, if I can sort of greater level than what you want to reach. So talking, keeping that aside, if I can talk about during the lockdown, since you talked about the present situation, during the lockdown or during the peak pandemic time, your startup also had people working for you, they were employees. So how was the revenue flow going? As in, how did you guys manage your livelihoods? Because you were, of course, as you told, engaged in the supply of essential commodities, as were many platforms during the pandemic. But did that suffice your cash requirements, as you say, apart from the funding you received? There are people who work for you, there are your employees, and other aspects or areas where you need to put in that cash or put in that financial requirement. So, how did you manage that, and what were the techniques or methods you used, or the sources you used to keep up your cash flow, or keep up your what can I say, your financial requirements? Because it's a startup, it's it needs a firm base, and the lockdown was more than threatening to any startup, if I can say.
Yeah. So that's what. So initially, to be honest, during the first 2 months, honestly, OSK Plus wasn't there at all. So we were completely clueless how to go ahead, what to do. So we were completely under lockdown. We were shut down completely, and definitely there was zero income, zero revenue in the company. We actually had that's how we actually lost all our cash reserves, and that's how we gone bankrupt because we have to take care of our employees back then. And these are, if I say our kitchen people are, they a few of them are also dependent on daily wage earners. We have our dishwashers or the kitchen helpers and all that, so they are particularly basically uh, daily wage earners. So we actually had a tough time during those periods, and that's how the previous answer, as I mentioned, that we will have to come with a solution. We will have to make sure that the revenue is still flowing in. So that's how we started up OSK Plus. So, but then, yeah, the revenue wasn't enough. The cash flow wasn't enough for us to survive. That's what I told you that we were lucky that we had that the funding with us. So, but then again, that funding was not supposed to be for to take care of us during the pandemic. That was supposed to be used for scaling up. So, somewhere or the other, it was helpful for us. But then again, to be honest, we are still in the recovery phase. And if our calculations goes well, then hopefully by next 2 months, we should be back on track and we should be achieving a break even.
And that's very good to know. And because all of us and everyone want that economy and especially all the business activities come back to where they were before everything happened, and especially as
If only there isn't another lockdown.
of course, and with the new strain and everything being
Yeah,
talked about, and be it a new strain or anything, it's threatening as we've seen the consequences, if not in India, but the place where it originated in UK.
yes,
But however,
yes,
let's
yes.
not talk about something which has not happened and keep our hopes high that lockdown won't be necessary again. But again, talking about a startup as such as yours, I talked about the presence of big players like Swiggy, Zomato in the market, and they came into the, if I remember, into Guwahati or to the Northeast market back in 2017 or 18, if I remember correctly. But again, for them, for your startup to grow, how much do you think that these multinationals will be, maybe, what can I say, a, a hurdle in your path to grow independently? Since you told us about listing yourself on Swiggy, but if you talk about your platform OSK Plus as independently targeting a growth rate, will they be hurdles or will they be your catalysts? Or do you think policies such as
Uh,
Vocal for Local will help you to reach your higher goals?
Honestly, to be honest, we aren't exactly a competition to each other because the model is completely different. Swiggy and Zomato are an aggregator model. Yeah, uh, it's like we don't want to be their competition, but then when it comes to from the customer point,
Yeah.
we are directly or indirectly their competition because right now when it comes to delivery apps or food delivery apps, Swiggy, Zomato, Domino's, Pizza Hut, and KFC, I'm not sure how much of their customers use Domino's app or Pizza Hut app to order pizza or KFC. If I'm not wrong, then everyone uses Swiggy or Zomato only to order KFC or Domino's and pizza, and then we are there. So, so that's a market space, like industry space right now as of now currently over here. So if we don't even want to, yet we are being compared with them. So yes, it's a very big hurdle. But then on the positive side, if I say that these are our own brands, all the brands are owned by us, and these are something which we say if you wanna, if I say that few of the products are proprietary, and we have the buffalo wings which we sell under OSK. Now, if you have to, if you want to eat buffalo wings, you will have to come to OSK only. You cannot go to Swiggy or Zomato to go eat buffalo wings. If you want to, we have another one by name of teriyaki board. So, so that's how we are curating our menu as well. So these products are very proprietary, and you will have to come to us only. We are there on Swiggy and Zomato. Definitely, it is giving us a lot of visibility and giving us a lot of mileage. And in terms of operations, also it is giving us a huge. It's opening our arms. But then again, we are actually focusing on our platform and the cross ordering process. So in Swiggy, you cannot order, place an order from multiple restaurants at the same time. But from us, you can order from multiple brands at the same time. You want to have biryani, you can have a biryani from House of Biryani. You want to have a healthy juice, you can order from Healthy Coach. You want to order a pet supplies for your pets, so you can even order with them and one will be bundled.
altogether.
Yes, yes. So that's what, and our model is completely different. So that's why I don't think that we are competing with Swiggy or Zomato or anyone. But then when it comes to the user perspective, but by default we actually are becoming people are actually comparing us with them. So yeah, it's a tough journey ahead, and we know that we can pull it off. We can pull it off together in a better way.
I guess that's the amount of optimism we require. I also believe that you have a long-term goal that at one point of time in the future you'll make yourself completely independent from these two platforms and
Yes. We are trying that actually. We are
like
actually trying that. Yeah.
in a hierarchical category rather than in a vertical hierarchy. So it would be in the same
Yeah.
line as Swiggy, Zomato, and OSK. So I guess that's a long-term goal for all of
Yeah.
the team.
So to be honest now, the Healthico brand is exclusively available in our app only. We are not listed. We are not listed in Swiggy and
Yeah,
Zomato because of the technical issues. As I mentioned, that we fetch those datas, and those datas cannot be in
yeah.
fetch from Swiggy or Zomato because they work on a blackboard model, and their model is completely different. Our model is completely different. So that's for how we are completely different than Swiggy Zomato.
Yeah, and so before we end this interview or this wonderful discussion today, maybe the last thing I would ask that within these recent years, if I can talk about Guwahati, where I'm based right now, there has been a tendency for many startups to come up, and that's very good. And the government has uh, initiated policies for this to happen, for startups to get more accessibility and a more proper playing field for them to nurture themselves and grow into proper businesses. But looking at the current ground situation, as you have been in an industry for long now, looking at the current ground situation, what would be your assessment of whether or not a startup should be one should invest in a startup right now, or if a person does, what should they expect? Should they be patient or should they be aggressive? And all this, if
See,
you considering the current ground reality.
See, that depends on your model, that depends on the concept, and that depends on the industry.
Yeah.
If you see that there is an opportunity and you are having a first mover advantage, definitely be aggressive. You don't have to be defensive, be on the front foot and try to capture the market as soon as possible before there is a second party or a second player. That's what first mover advantage is going to help you with. If it is a completely new industry or a new concept which you are going to launch and you know that the market is too early for it, please do your research. Please do your research. Please do a ground homework and test how deep are the waters before diving in. So it's very important. I've seen a lot of people who come to me and they say that they have this grand plan, and then I ask them that are we ready for this product? Are we ready for this service? Because we know that these things are available in the metro cities. These things are available in Mumbai, Delhi, and Bangalore. But we in Guwahati, we are way behind. We are at least, that's my view. I think we are at least 3 to 4 years behind of these places in terms of your purchasing power, in terms of your market. So we will have to create a market. That's how I did. That's how I did 2017. The market was completely, there wasn't a market only. People were not used to of downloading a mobile application and placing an order. We faced so much of issues like we used to request people to download the app and they used to come up and they used to say that no, I don't have data on my phone or I don't have space in my phone. Can you please take the order over the phone call itself? That was uh, more preferred back then. Now it's completely different. Now everyone wants to use an app or they would just type and they would say that please send me this. No one is going to talk to you over the phone. That's how it changes. So you will have to uh, read the market very well. Once you are sure, if you are sure, then definitely jump in. You don't have to take anyone's validation whether you want to go ahead or not. That's what I tell everyone. So yeah, that's what we feel. So if the market, if you see the market is there and there are too many players, be aggressive. If you see that there are already players, but you know you can do it better than them, then please do your research and make the customers educate that these are the glucose which we are providing, and that's how you can compete with your counterparts.
I would thank you very much for that answer because that's the purpose of this entire project of Groundspeak, wherein we try to understand what is happening on the ground with through people such as you who are actually working it to know the market firsthand. And thank you so much for sharing with us the insights and the uh, evaluations, if I can say, of how it was and how it is now in relation to the pandemic and post-pandemic or post-lockdown, if I can say. I can't say post-pandemic yet, but post-lockdown period. But again, thank you so much, Rahul, for this wonderful discussion. And your insights are quite valuable to us, and we would use them and try to proliferate them as much as we can to help this growing startup culture especially in my city or in my state, that is Assam, or the Northeast region as a whole. And all the best to you and your entire team of One Stop Kitchen, and hope to see you achieve your goals short term and long term in the coming time. And hope
Thank you.
have this kind of a discussion in person as soon as we can and get more insights
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure,
and
sure.
more firm partnership with Asian Confluence and startups and successful startups such as yours. Thank you so much and have a very good evening.